Channel 2, The News with Gary Liberatore and meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us here on this Monday morning. I'm Gary Liberatore.
And I'm Storm Tracker 2 meteorologist Eric Gage.
And happy 6th. It sure was a busy weekend over the Mohawk Valley all weekend. Saturday, a bit of rain. Sunday, gorgeous. And today?
We got maybe a bit of both depending on where you are. So one of those unique circumstances here. Let's jump into it because we've got a pretty unique setup taking place over central New York here in your forecast in a minute. We begin with a live look outside in downtown Utica. Overall, not too wet of a morning to start your day. Temperatures starting out in the 70s, so it's a rather warm start this morning. But notice we got some showers in Hamilton and Binghamton. So some of you waking up this morning, well, you might look out your window and it's raining right now. And it's mainly in some of these areas south. Now, the humidity has broken for a little bit. We're going to see that slowly increase throughout the day today. But I want to zoom out a little bit and show what's happening. We have basically this low pressure system colliding with this stationary boundary here. And it's creating a very unique setup where these aren't storms by any means. It's just a very narrow line of showers in a very unlucky, or depending on your favoring of rainfall, a lucky scenario here in Cooperstown. In fact, you can see a live in Cooperstown. It's a bit rainy this morning. One of the only places here in a very narrow corridor to start your day where it's currently starting out a bit wet. So today, aside from some of these spotty showers south, that's generally where a lot of that rain will take place, toward the Catskills, lower half of the New York State, toward downstate. But either way, today's temperature is actually seasonable, mid to upper 70s, and maybe nowhere near close to a heat wave this week. We'll track, of course, how hot we get and that humidity coming up in that full forecast. Gary?
Eric, thanks. A multi-agency investigation is underway.
This live look of downtown Cooperstown is brought to you by the Leatherstocking Credit Union.
Welcome back. A little rainy in Cooperstown this morning. Time now is 5:12. Here's a look at your weather on the way this week on what we can expect weather-wise. Anything impactful, notable, and well, really the most notable system here is taking place to our south and east this morning. Now, as you progress throughout the morning, some of this shower activity will shift its way north, mainly those of you in parts of Madison, Shenango, and Otsego County. This is more of a rainy day for you. The farther north you go, heading up toward northern Herkimer County, Hamilton County, Lewis County, even northern Oneida County, this will be more of a dry day for you. Basically just dependent on this low pressure system still hovering out to the east coast. It will slowly progress its way eastward and will still dry out for tomorrow and for much of Wednesday, with our next frontal boundary slowly approaching, heading into Thursday afternoon. Better yet, maybe middle of the day Thursday. Early preview of the Boilermaker. It's slowly approaching here, and you can see for the most part it starts out pretty dry. Now there's a possibility of maybe an afternoon pop-up shower right now, but still 7 to 6 days away. So we're going to closely watch this forecast for you guys, have the latest data coming in for regarding the start of the race and toward the end of the race too. But more or less, so far, it is looking pretty dry to start. Gary?
Eric, thanks. An Adirondack High School alum has a lot.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. Hope you guys had a great 4th of July weekend. Now begins our first full week of July, and we're starting out on the warm side today. Live at downtown Utica. Slightly cloudy this morning from that low pressure to our south. Temperature officially at 71 degrees, a bit muggy. More on that humidity in just a minute. Radar and satellite showing that low pressure, providing us with that rain impacting, again, mainly heavy rain in the Hudson Valley, the eastern seaboard here, and including the Catskills, but somewhat diminishing the farther north you go. And that's pretty much the story today when it comes to that rainfall. A live look at the radar, you can see the rain mainly impacting south of I-88 and that very narrow corridor here in Cooperstown, heading toward Brookfield and Hamilton in southern Madison County. So very unique circumstance nonetheless. So what are we expecting this week? Well, certainly no heat wave. The highest we get temperature-wise is in the mid to upper 80s starting Thursday. It feels like temperature hitting the low 90s. But it's only lasting maybe one day or so. After that, we expect to cool down a little bit heading into the end of the week and approaching the weekend. But let's talk rain and humidity. So today, rainfall mainly south of the Thruway corridor here. A few straggly showers may make their way north, but that's really about it. As we head overnight, a few spotty sprinkles to the south, mostly cloudy skies, a warm start in the mid-70s Tuesday afternoon with lots of sunshine, a very pleasant end of the day. Continuing to see that clear skies overnight with overnight lows falling into the 60s and 50s. So Wednesday, again, starts out actually a bit more sunny compared to the last few days. A few clouds slowly approaching and a couple spotty on and off showers throughout the afternoon Wednesday. So when it comes to humidity, today and tomorrow it's slightly muggy, a bit of a reprieve here compared to the high tropical levels we saw in recent days. It's going to return again though, Wednesday and Thursday. So here we are in July, not uncommon to see these fluctuations in humidity, but nonetheless, we look ahead to the rest of the week. We've got a few more showers and storms arriving Thursday and into Friday too. Now, Saturday starts out with maybe a couple spotty showers here and there, but let's talk Sunday. Boilermaker Sunday, Gary, is now in the view, and as of now, it does look pretty dry. Maybe a couple afternoon downpours and showers, but listen, all you need to worry about is the morning during race day. So looking forward to that.
It's come up quick, hasn't it?
1 year almost to the day.
Eric, thanks. The time right now is 5:20, and thank you for joining us for this half hour. It is quite warm out there already. Eric, we're talking temps in the 70s here at 5:30 in the morning.
Yeah, Gary, that's right. And we're sitting at 71 right now. Very warm here in Utica, and a lot of other spots here waking up in the 70s. A couple other spots, though, we'll be talking maybe a bit on the cooler side. Very interesting, though. Let's take a look at your forecast in a minute. So I didn't catch this in the first half hour. I wasn't looking at areas to the north just yet. But you can see here in Utica, we've got cloudy skies. That's allowed the temperatures to remain pretty warm overnight, sitting officially at 71 at Griffiths. But I want to focus a bit more on what's taking place up in the Adirondacks, more importantly, Saranac Lake. It is 49, much different as you head farther down. It's quite interesting, the huge variation here in that temperature. But the farther south you go, in fact, a lot of spots in the Thruway corridor in south, upper 60s, low 70s. So it's a bit of a warm start either way. We're going to watch the humidity because it's somewhat breaking for the next couple of days. Mid to low 60s, the dew point, so muggy conditions. But we'll let you know in a few minutes when that serious humidity returns. So live look at the radar. Very interesting setup right now. Low pressure mainly impacting this location here to the south. Very narrow corridor of rain showers. You probably saw moments ago that rain in Cooperstown. It's heading its way westward into the lower sections of Madison County. So again, a bit of a rainy start here. For example, here in Cooperstown, 67 the temperature. So despite the rain, it's also still not too bad. Highs will climb into the 70s today. No heat wave this week at all. But we're going to see some warmer days ahead and humid days ahead. We'll track that for you coming up in a few minutes. Gary?
Eric, thanks. From some dangerous weather to a...
Channel 2 is brought to you by Holland Farms Bakery and Deli. This live look of downtown Cooperstown is brought to you by the Leatherstocking Credit Union.
Welcome back to Sunrise on this Monday morning. Today's photo of the day brings us to a great shot here in Rome. Maybe not weather related, but I feel, following the 4th of July, this is a great photo here. So, shot of the flags of honor at Griffiths and Rome, sent in by Kevin. What a shot here. Blue skies in the background, and of course, all the great flags here in front, helped put together by some veterans of the Vietnam War. So again, shout out to those of you that served our country. We here, myself personally, and everyone here at the station, thank you for your service. So, amazing shot here. If you have one like this, like to send to us, go to WKTV.com/weather/pics. This photo and every photo every morning brought to you by GPO Federal Credit Union. So, right now, today, starts out maybe a bit dry to the north, rain showers to the south. We'll have a look at how this rainfall impacts our area today, how far north it goes, all the details you need to know coming up in a few minutes. Gary?
Eric, thanks. Many of us use bug spray to keep mosquitoes away during the summer.
Dependable weather team. Here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everybody. Today we're starting out with a few clouds, mainly dry conditions, with a few exceptions heading farther to the south. Let's take a look at downtown Utica right now, where it's, again, relatively overcast. Temperature at Griffiths and Rome, 71 with reported sunshine. Maybe a few pockets of clearing taking place out toward Rome, but generally speaking, behind me is the skies we'll be seeing for the next few hours. Slightly muggy this morning. More on that here in a minute. Radar and satellite picking up on some rain showers, mainly impacting the downstate Catskill area of New York State and hitting the Connecticut, Rhode Island, and southern Mass areas this morning. We zoom in here. Now, mainly the I-88 corridor appears to be where much of that steadiest of rain is falling in our local area. Aside from this very narrow band of rain, basically colliding with this boundary here to the north. It did rain pretty significantly in Cooperstown. Now it's heading toward Brookfield and Hamilton in Madison County. So overall today, spotty showers mainly in the southern valleys, decreasing in coverage the farther north you go. This week, no heat wave expected. Well, yes, we do climb to the 80s with feels like temperatures pushing 90 again in the middle of the week, but no consistent high heats and humidity. So hopefully your electric bills will see some slight reductions this week. Still, you might need the AC a little bit, though. The Skycast showing a couple spotty showers, again, mainly to the south. They could go as far north as the Thruway corridor, but overall, we're expecting the rain to be pretty persistent the farther south you go. Now, closer to sunset, notice here we have some partial sunshine rolling in. We do expect to dry up a little bit. Now, Tuesday itself looking a bit cloudy to start. Sunshine slowly working in, and then heading into the evening hours, we got maybe some rain showers passing well south of our area, but here locally, it's looking pretty dry. We head into Wednesday, starts out with some sunshine, temperatures climbing into the 80s, and it looks pretty dry aside from a couple passing brief showers closer to sunset, drying up as we head beyond that through the overnight. So again, when it comes to humidity, today and tomorrow, it's slightly muggy, a bit less compared to last week, but the humidity will return again Wednesday and Thursday with highs in the 80s. A few showers and storms on Friday, Saturday as of now, looking pretty dry, just dodging a few stray showers. And as you mentioned in the last half hour, we've got that Boilermaker now officially on that 7-day, and it does look to start out pretty dry. Temperatures initially in the upper 50s, low 60s, climbing into the 70s. Yeah. Maybe a stray shower in the afternoon, but as the days get closer, we'll have a better idea on how Boilermaker Sunday shapes up.
50s and 60s sounds good for the runners.
Great running weather, Gary.
Eric, thanks. A stunning twist ahead of tonight.
The news with Gary Liberatore and meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us here on this Monday morning. I'm Gary Liberatore.
And I'm Storm Tracker 2 meteorologist Eric Gage.
And happy 6th. We've been saying happy 4th and then happy 5th yesterday. Why not happy 6th today? Rain Saturday. Gorgeous yesterday, but today you said a mix, right?
Yeah, a bit of a mix, and as we head later in the day, too, it's going to dry up even more. Nice. So we're dodging some rain basically this morning. Let's take a look, though, at the latest conditions here across central New York with your forecast in a minute. And we begin with a look at downtown Utica. It's a bit of a cloudy but pretty dry scene out there. Temperatures also not too bad, hovering in the 60s and 70s to start your day, so pretty much no jacket needed today. But also, you might not even need to really crank up that AC today as well, because we're not really going to warm up too much. So dew points have been the factor here the last week or so. High heat, high humidity. Now this is on the muggy side. Well, I take that back. 68, I would say very humid, but 57, much less humid. So you can see the variety here when it comes to the humidity this morning, and mainly that's just due to the rain taking place in one narrow corridor here in Otsego County. So what we're seeing is basically a slow-moving low pressure. We've got some training rainfall here. We're going to watch for some pretty decent rainfall numbers right along Broome County and Delaware County. But I want to zoom in here. It's a very narrow band gliding along this boundary here, heading toward Route 20 north of Hamilton in Madison County. It produced some rain in Cooperstown this morning, which is why it's a very damp scene to start your day today. But again, the heaviest of the rain has since ended in Cooperstown, with the temperature still, despite the rain, at 66. So today, I mentioned, you might not need the AC too much. We're in the mid-70s for highs. Now, it shows mostly cloudy skies. Closer to sunset, we could see some partial clearing, but the big story is the rainfall, which will mainly take place in the southern valleys today, with a few stray showers heading north. But I'll have a detailed look at that rainfall today, plus how the rest of the week is shaping up, and an early preview of Boilermaker Sunday in just a few minutes. Gary?
Eric, thanks. A multi-agency investigation is under.
This live look of downtown Cooperstown is brought to you by the Leatherstocking Credit Union.
Welcome back to Sunrise. Time now is 6:12. Here's a look at what you can expect with some weather on the way this week. And when it comes to impactful weather, well, we're basically right on the fringes of it today. Pretty consistent rain heading toward the downstate area, Catskills region. A couple of these stray showers are working their way north into the southern valleys today, so expect maybe a few passing showers mixed in with clouds in the southern valleys for the most part, as the brunt of that consistent rain stays to the south. It might go as far north as the Mohawk Valley, but I would expect a mostly cloudy day with a chance of a stray shower. Drying up, though, as we head into the evening. A couple lingering showers overnight into early Tuesday morning. That exits, and Tuesday itself looking pretty quiet, pretty dry. Same thing for Wednesday, too, at least until Thursday with our next round of rain coming in. But more importantly, we've got a very notable date in the next 7 days. The Boilermaker Sunday is now in our 7-day forecast. Now we're going to start out with some early previews of it, which for now look pretty dry. A couple of spotty showers possible in the afternoon, but more or less for right now, the morning looks pretty dry. Temperatures in the upper 50s. So needless to say, that'd be very nice running weather. Gary?
That's for sure. Eric, thank you. An Adirondack High School alum has a...
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everybody, on this Monday. Hope you guys all had a great 4th of July weekend. Yeah, we had some rain showers early Saturday, but for a lot of us, just in time for fireworks while things started to clear up. Today, though, we've got a pretty dry day for those of you north of the Thruway and the Thruway corridor and south. It may be a bit different, but either way, temperature's not too bad to start your day. We begin with cloudy skies and temperatures in the 70s. Still a bit muggy out early this morning, but it's going to be a bit of a different story later in the week. More on that here in a minute. So we look at the radar and satellite. We have some pretty consistent rain downstate toward basically Connecticut, Rhode Island, southern Mass, and including our area here, we got a couple of these spotty showers. Mainly this narrow rain band here heading through Brookfield and Hamilton, shifting its way north towards Stockbridge in Madison County. So we're going to be watching some of these northward rain bands here, which are very unique, but nonetheless outliers, and what will be a mostly dry day today. Again, the farther north you go. Either way, today's temperatures will be peaking in the mid-70s. This week, no heat wave to track. So certainly some of you who have been putting your ACs in overtime, this is definitely something to look forward to. Now, to be fair, the heat index will climb into the low 90s in the middle of the week here, but it's just one day. Mid to upper 80s, typical for July standards. So look at the skycast here. Basically, this is the synopsis of what takes place today. These spotty showers mainly fall south of the thruway. As we head throughout the day today, that low pressure shifts its way eastward. We do expect to dry up with some sunshine. Now, a few passing clouds overnight. Tuesday morning, maybe a stray spotty shower as finally that energy exits out toward the Atlantic. Sunshine moves in. It's a very sunny and dry second half of the day. It remains mostly clear overnight into early Wednesday morning. Temperatures falling into the 60s and 50s. And then after some patchy fog, we climb into the 80s with a couple stray showers toward the evening, after sunset, I should say, for the most part, as this week boundary rolls through, and ahead of a more notable cold front arriving on Thursday. So today and tomorrow, muggy, maybe humid. The tropical humidity will return again Wednesday and Thursday before we inevitably begin to cool down again toward the end of the week into the weekend. 81 the temperature on Friday with a few showers and storms. Now, this weekend, very important weekend for the Utica area, central New York, and even a lot of folks traveling from numerous areas across the country and around the world to Utica for the Boilermaker. Right now, a couple of spotty showers in the afternoon. Right now, the morning though does look dry, and to start, I mean, we're in the upper 50s, low 60s. Not too bad running weather, Gary.
Yeah, that sounds perfect for them.
That's right.
Yeah, Eric, thanks. Be sure to like us on Facebook and good morning once again, and thank you for joining us for this half hour. If you are getting ready to head out the door this morning, it's a warm one out there. Eric, we are talking temps in the 70s already here at 6:30 in the morning. Yeah,
a warm start, Gary. Already officially 70 at Griffiths and Rome. Let's take a look, though, across some of the other locations this morning, because, again, it is actually rather pleasant to start your day. Here's a look at your forecast in a minute. We begin with a look at downtown Utica. Right now, it is a pretty quiet and cloudy scene. Temperatures at 71 in Syracuse, 64 Johnstown, 70 in Rome. The one exception to a colder start, mainly as you head up to the Adirondacks, 50 degrees up at Saranac Lake. So Adirondacks the exception here, the rest of New York State on the warm side. Humidity has been the story the last week or so, a big factor in that feels like temperature. Now, in some spots, dew points are in the 50s, which are comfortable. Other spots where it's been raining, mid-60s. Muggy, humid. So far, though, it's mainly been the rain, which has been the culprit here. A couple of spotty showers, mainly heading through Madison County. Another one right along the I-88 corridor in Oneonta. But as you see here, a lot of spots, mainly in the Catskills, downstate, and the eastern seaboard here is where much of that rain's been taking place. But that one rain band that moved through central Otsego County, heading up toward Route 20 here north of Hamilton, that produced a pretty damp scene. Live in Cooperstown, bit of a damp start to the day today. So, what are we expecting across central New York? Well, mostly cloudy skies, highs in the mid-70s. A couple of stray showers, mainly south, but we'll have a more detailed look at that rainfall chance today, and plus what follows throughout the week coming up in that full forecast. Gary?
Eric, thanks. From some dangerous weather to a white national.
This live look of downtown Cooperstown is brought to you by the Leatherstocking Credit Union.
Welcome back to Sunrise. Our photo of the day today brings us into Rome, Griffiths in Rome, of a shot of a Flags of Honor display here sent into us by Kevin. An amazing sight here of all those American flags. A great fitting end to the 4th of July weekend. And of course, the meaning of these flags here. Do want to give a thank you to all of you for your service to this country, those of you that have served in this country, from me and from the entire staff here at WKTV. Again, amazing shot here. I'm sure if you have a photo like this showcasing some American scenes across the area, go to WKTV.com/weather/pics. That photo and every photo, every morning brought to you by GPO Federal Credit Union. So this morning we're tracking a couple spotty showers to the south, a bit north, more on the dry side. We'll have a look at how long this rain lasts and where it moves to, coming up in a few minutes. Gary?
Eric, thanks. Many of us use bug spray.
New York's most dependable weather team. Here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everybody. Today we're tracking some cloudy skies, some rain showers to the south, and a bit of a relief into the high heat we've seen, at least compared to last week. Here though, take a look outside. In downtown Utica, generally cloudy across much of central New York this morning, and temperatures starting out pretty comfortable in the 70s, slightly muggy, but this is already a bit of a lower humidity factor compared to, say, last week. We'll dive into the potential increase when it comes to the dew points here in just a minute. First, let's talk rainfall. You can see this general area of low pressure basically forced along this stationary front, which is basically producing rain showers mainly along the New England area, but this zone right here of some rain showers, mainly just along the Route 20 corridor, same thing along I-88 in Oneonta. But aside from that, these stray showers are the most we'll be seeing throughout your morning today. Temperature-wise, this week, no heat wave, I can tell you right now. Highs in the mid to upper 80s by Wednesday and Thursday. By Thursday itself, it feels like temperature in 92, but again, that's about as warm as we get this week. Keep in mind, today's feels like temperature 77 the high. So again, a warm start, but not too bad of an afternoon today. So let's look at that rainfall chance today. Now, models have been all over the place, the rainfall this weekend and including today. But aside from the inconsistencies of the data here, what I can tell you is a few spotty showers to the south, stray shower in the Mohawk Valley. The farther north you go, the drier it will be. Closer to sunset, low pressure will exit. We'll have some partial sunshine around 6, 7, 8 o'clock. Then after that, we'll see some clouds increase, maybe a couple of spotty showers early Tuesday morning. But again, the rainfall coverage very limited. By noontime Tuesday, the sun comes out. It's a very pleasant afternoon with highs in the 80s. Then Tuesday night, we're down into the 60s, eventually 50s. With clear skies, maybe some patchy fog to start your day. Lots of sunshine in the afternoon and the chance of a couple of spotty showers closer, maybe after sunset here from a very weak frontal boundary there. So when it comes to humidity, today and tomorrow, still somewhat humid, muggy, but Wednesday and Thursday is when it really starts to ramp up again, tropical levels toward the middle of the week. After that, though, we have a cold front coming in Thursday evening. It does still produce a few showers and storms Friday, but slightly cooler there. Then this weekend, this upcoming weekend, that is, 70s, a couple of spotty showers and downpours here and there, but of course on Sunday, we now have included the Boilermaker logo. The 15K takes place this coming Sunday. As of now, it does look pretty dry in the morning, temperatures in the upper 50s, so great running weather. As long as the rain holds off,
Yeah.
it's going to be very nice for a forecast.
A lot of people keeping an eye on that forecast for sure.
Looking at it for now.
Eric, thanks. A busy few days for
The
the
news with Gary Liberatore.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us here on this Monday afternoon. I'm Gary Liberatore.
And I'm Storm Tracker 2 meteorologist Eric Gage.
It's been cloudy all morning long, tracking some rain, are you?
Yes, so thankfully the rain is pretty few and far between, and temperatures actually not too bad,
Yeah.
Gary. Compared to the heat wave we saw in days past, Let's take a look at the tower cam right now. So a few things to talk about. So obviously you can see outside, it's a little bit cloudy. Pretty much evident here all across much of the Mohawk Valley. When it comes to temperatures here this afternoon too, well, we're actually not changing all too much. In fact, for some spots, it's actually lowered in temperature, mainly the farther south you go. Matter of fact, we're in the mid-60s in the Mohawk Valley, 67 in Herkimer, 69 in Westmoreland. The farther north you go into the Adirondacks, it's in the mid to upper 70s, down into the mid to low 60s, heading south into the Binghamton area in the southern tier. So it's all just driven in by the cloud cover, which is mainly to our south. Of course, that rainfall is also a part of that forecast down in the southern tier. So today, well, our highs really peak in the mid 70s. That's about as warm as we get. So comfortable temperatures. And again, mostly cloudy, but it's not a washout by any means, dodging a stray shower here and there. But either way, we had a heat wave last week. What's in store for us this week? We'll have the details regarding rain chance, humidity, and temperature coming up in that full forecast. Gary?
Eric, thanks. Storms and heat are playing a big factor today as millions of travelers make their way home from the holiday weekend. NBC's Maggie Vespa is at Chicago's O'Hare Airport with more.
Hey there, from the home stretch of this record-smashing holiday weekend, and today it has definitely felt like it. Earlier here at O'Hare, we had the general boarding line for TSA snaking all the way down hundreds of feet past our camera and then doing a 180 and coming back. Truly one of the longest lines I've ever seen here at O'Hare. TSA warning that this would be a super busy day. This is supposed to be the busiest July 4th travel weekend in close to 15 years at America's airports. The agency clocking 2.9 million Americans passing through security checkpoints yesterday, and today is expected to be busier. Obviously, we have the added layer of severe storms and possible flooding out east. That could throw a wrench into things, making delays and cancellations soar. They're already soaring well past the 1,000 mark nationwide. They were this morning, and that could obviously climb throughout the day, so it's something to watch. Travel experts warning people to get to airports extra early, check your flight status before you come, download the airline's app well before your flight time so that if you need to rebook or make any changes, that's the fastest way to do it. For the tens of millions driving, again, 61 million Americans expected to drive over the holiday weekend. You add in those heading back to work today, it is definitely, experts say, going to be congested on the roads. Experts recommend either driving in the morning or late afternoon if you can, if you have that flexibility. The good news is gas prices keep falling, down to around $3.80 on average per gallon nationwide. The states with the lowest prices at this point, Texas, Oklahoma, and Indiana. So if you're passing through there, it might be a good day to fill up, just to kind of cap off your holiday weekend. I'll send it back to you.
NBC's Maggie Vespa reporting from Chicago O'Hare. Well, police in Rochester are in.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good afternoon, everybody, on this Monday. Hope you all had a great weekend. Yes, we dodged a couple rain showers Saturday and a few isolated spots Sunday, but overall wasn't too bad of a weekend, especially just in time for fireworks, right? Well, let's take a look at what we can expect this week. Here's a look at the latest conditions as we move forward throughout today, tomorrow, and Wednesday. This low pressure to our south is going to slowly shift its way eastward. Maybe a stray shower or two on the back end of this is going to swing its way into the area early Tuesday morning, but that's about it. The rain chances will slowly diminish throughout the day. Sunshine slowly moves in, and it looks pretty dry through the middle of the week until our next round of rain in the form of a cold front arriving heading into Thursday. So we've got quite a dry stretch following today. How about temperatures? Well, there's no heat wave this week, guys, so I guess your ACs can finally get some rest a little bit. The highs for this week will peak in the mid-80s by Wednesday and Thursday. The feels like temperature mainly hitting the 90-degree mark on Thursday, but no extended stretch of over 100 degrees heat index. So that's some good news there for you guys. Get a bit of a reprieve in the heat this week. So on our Skycast, you can see the rain showers mainly staying to the south. A couple of spotty showers here and there, but overall it does look pretty dry heading into Monday evening through Monday night. Now Tuesday, we're going to start out with a few clouds, maybe some spotty showers. It's going to be drying up throughout the day, though, with plenty of sunshine in the afternoon and highs in the 80s, and remaining pretty clear overnight through the early part of Wednesday. Wednesday still itself looks pretty dry. Aside from some valley fog in the morning, it's going to be a sunny afternoon, and then maybe a stray shower or two closer to sunset. In fact, mainly after sunset here. Following that, we have our next round of a cold front arriving heading into Thursday. So let's talk humidity, which was also a big factor last week. It's going to be somewhat muggy today and tomorrow. Noticeable, but not too bad. The humidity will return again, though, Wednesday and Thursday. We are still in July, so this is not atypical to see humidity in summertime, but just a heads up on when it arrives, which will be later this week. Your 7-day forecast. Let's talk the rest of the week. 80s Thursday, slightly cooler on Friday, high 81. How about this weekend? Well, it's actually looking not too bad in the 70s, Saturday and Sunday, but also a very important day in the 7-day now. Boilermaker Sunday is now here, and the early signs, the early signals point to so far a dry start and temperatures starting out in the 50s and 60s. So that's great running weather.
Yeah.
So at least initial thoughts, not too bad. We'll have more on the Boilermaker preview in just a few minutes, too.
Eric, thanks. President Trump will travel to Turkey. Meteorologist Eric Gage joining us now. And Eric, all eyes are on Sunday now after the July 4th. We're looking towards the Boilermaker.
Yeah, now less than a week away, Gary. We now have our first looks at what's taking place this coming Sunday. So let's take a look right here at the latest conditions heading out to Boilermaker Sunday. So far, it looks pretty good. We have some rain signals, but a lot of that does arrive later in the day. In fact, one of the more reliable models in long range, the European model, the ECMWF over here, this shows almost completely dry conditions across much of the Northeast. Now, the GFS model, the American model here, the also other long range one, showing a few more clouds, rain showers to our west. Still, though, we are around 6 days out. This is about the extent of model consistency. Even then, this far out, there's a lot of variables here and a lot of changes take place. But I figured to let you guys know what we are looking at to let you guys know what some early previews might look like. For now, though, we're talking 60s and low 70s for temperatures throughout the race, maybe starting out in the upper 50s to low 60s for the start of the race. So for now, though, in the short term, we've got some dry conditions, maybe a passing shower overnight into early Tuesday, but after that it does dry up and it looks pretty sunny toward the rest of Tuesday and into Wednesday before our next round of rain arrives later in the week. We'll be talking about that, plus the temperature trend and humidity trend coming up in a few minutes. Gary?
Eric, thanks. 8 people were rescued after a small seaplane crashed into the East River in New York on Sunday. The incident happened around noon.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good afternoon, everybody, on this Monday. It's our first full week of July. Now, after such a very hot and humid stretch last week, what's in store for us this week? We take a look at the bigger picture here. A couple of rain showers, mainly to our south, after widespread rain is impacting a lot of the New York City, Long Island, Connecticut, and Rhode Island and Western Mass, or mainly Southern Mass area here early today. As we progress throughout the remainder of the day today, that low pressure will still hover out toward the Atlantic coast, kind of slingshot some of the backside energy here out towards central New York. Not a lot of rain, but it's worth mentioning. After tomorrow morning, we got high pressure moving in, drying things up for our next round of rain, which is this form of a cold front here, which will arrive mainly on Thursday. So how are we looking in terms of temperature this week? As I mentioned, no heat wave. It's going to be rather summer-like here, 70s, 80s. Feels like temperature hitting the low 90s here in the middle of the week. But aside from that, this I would call kind of seasonable. In fact, today, not too bad of a temperature, mid-70s. In fact, it might feel like a cool down. You guys might have your windows open, enjoying the refreshing mid to upper 70s air that we've been not very used to in recent days. So our Skycast showing that rainfall still rather stubborn to the south, hit or miss showers at best. Partial clearing closer to sunset. Then after that, we're going to see some clouds increase overnight. A few spotty showers early Tuesday before the cloud cover exits. And sunshine moves in for the afternoon with highs in the 80s. That sun will linger closer to sunset, clear skies overnight, patchy fog developing early Wednesday morning. It does look pretty dry for much of Wednesday. In fact, pretty much the entire daylight hours looking pretty dry, at least until sunset. That's when we have our best shot of seeing our next spotty shower rolling through. After that, though, our next bout of rain will be on Thursday. So when it comes to humidity, certainly last week it was very noticeable, tropical levels. Today and tomorrow, muggy, slightly humid, maybe, but humidity not too bad, at least compared to Wednesday and Thursday this week, which will see a decent increase to tropical levels yet again. Not uncharacteristic, it is still July, so we usually see high humidity this time of year. But after this middle of the week, we do cool down a little bit Friday and Saturday. And again, Boilermakers Sunday as of now, starting out in the upper 50s, low 60s, eventually mid-70s in the afternoon, maybe a couple spotty showers, with the morning itself currently looking pretty dry. So stay tuned for updates on that forecast, but at least for now, not too bad of a stretch the next few days, Gary.
Runners are smiling at that forecast.
If we're talking 90, that'd be a different story, Gary.
Eric, thanks. Well, most of us use bug spray to keep mosquitoes.
On the forecast with Chief Meteorologist Bill Cardis.
The weather cooperating for the most part today. Just a couple of showers earlier today. We may see a few of them tonight. If you're going for run training for the Boilermakers, squeezing in those last workouts, it's actually a good evening to get out and do this. Temperatures are much cooler than last week, but the humidity still is hanging around, though. We are watching to the west. Some heavy rain is taking place across western New York. A lot of this will pass to the south tonight, but again, we are keeping an eye on that. As we look at temperatures, again, in the 70s, 74 degrees, the dew point is 65, so it's still pretty humid, even though it's not as warm as it was last week. It's still pretty humid. We are tracking the chance of a shower tonight and as well as early tomorrow. The humidity is going to increase this week. It becomes even more humid, especially Wednesday and Thursday. Things are trending nicer for Boilermaker, a little less humid and drier as well. Looks like the weather's going to cooperate. We'll take an early look at the Boilermaker forecast. Mostly cloudy this evening. Temperatures in the low 70s. Again, tracking our next round of rain likely here for Thursday. Look at the forecast coming up. Chris, back to you.
New at 6, new research.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Cardis.
Good evening. A generally cloudy day with a few sprinkles showing up. The steadiest rain is happening south and west, and that is going to be the case heading into tonight. This is a live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. Some very heavy rain happening in western New York, along with some flooding and flash flooding. This is all expected to stay south. In fact, when you look at how things have changed over the past 2 hours, a lot of these downpours are what we call training. It's staying in the same spot over and over and over again. There's very little wind in the middle of the atmosphere, and it's causing storms to just dump heavy rain in the same spots. Luckily for us, we're not in that zone. This is all going to pass to the south tonight. We may see a few showers on the northern fringe of this, but the ingredients are not there locally to produce any heavy rainfall. By the way, I want to wish you a happy Aphelion Day. Did you know that today marks the day that the Earth is farthest away from the sun in its orbit? Strange to think about in July. We are 94.5 million miles away from the sun, and the reason why it's hotter today compared to January when we're closer to the sun. Again, it's all about the tilt of the Earth. The sun's rays are a lot more direct this time of the year compared to January. But yes, in January, we are closer to the sun. Doesn't make a huge difference, as we know. It's a relatively small change in Earth's orbit. A reminder, you can always get weather information on the go by downloading our Storm Tracker 2 weather app. Dew points are in the mid-60s. It's very muggy. The numbers will be going up. It becomes even more humid Wednesday and Thursday. The weather remains generally dry over the next 2 days. Our next chance of rain will be Thursday afternoon with some showers and storms. Whitesboro, 79 degrees. Micah New Hartford, 74. Curtis, 70 degrees. Cooperstown, 73. Edmonston, right behind my head here at 73. Best chance of rain Thursday and Friday this week as our next weather maker approaches from the west. Low pressure will be moving to the south, is bringing some heavy rain across western New York as well as New England. But again, we're going to be on the outer fringe of this, so we can't rule out a shower tonight, especially south of the Mohawk Valley. Temperatures will be in the low 60s. We even could see a sprinkle into early Tuesday, but then the weather should dry out as this system moves out. Return to sunshine late in the day. Temperatures will be in the mid-70s. Tomorrow night, the weather looks mostly clear. The weather looks very nice on Wednesday, warm, but partly to mostly sunny with high temperatures in the mid-80s. Showers are possible tonight, especially south, 63. A shower in the morning, otherwise a pretty nice afternoon, 76. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. Partly sunny Wednesday, 86. Showers, thunderstorms Thursday, Friday. Temperatures in the low to mid-80s. Boilermaker weekend is looking dry, partly sunny. Temperatures in the low 80s. Should be nice weather for race day. Showers and thunderstorms are possible on Monday with high temperatures in the mid-80s.
Yeah, this is one of those weeks. Every day I'm going to be glued to the 7-day to see what changes.
And hopefully nothing changes
Hopefully
for the weekend.
nothing. Bill, thank you. Still to come here on News.
4-year-old missing since May was found dead in Chittenango Falls State Park, which was the last place they were seen. And so new tonight, a powerful storm system continued to swamp the tri-state area today. It comes on the heels of a third straight day of storms, some of which brought hurricane-force gusts. Long Island and Connecticut hardest hit by the system, but New York City and New Jersey also felt flooding impacts. Rainfall rates reached between 3 and 4 inches at a time today, and it may dry out tomorrow. You can bet we dodged a bullet, that's for sure. Time now to bring in Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis. Some rain, but nothing like we saw down New York City.
You know,
right?
it's wild. Same state, completely different day. There's been 5 to 6 inches of rain today alone.
That's insane.
In parts of downstate New York. So some pretty significant flooding. There's flooding, flash flood warnings in Pennsylvania. They're dealing with it tonight too. But again, we're on the very northern fringe of this. We may see a shower here tonight. We're going to miss out on the brunt of that. It is the same system that's been bringing us clouds today, though, and cooler weather. Current temperature 71 degrees. Temperatures are going to warm up. We'll be in the mid-70s tomorrow, back into the mid-80s Wednesday and Thursday. We'll stay in the 80s here as we get into the end of the week. Tonight, overnight lows will drop into the low 60s. Again, a shower or two is possible. Brunt of the rain will stay to the south. We are tracking an increase in the humidity and some active weather heading into the end of the week. Look at the forecast coming up. Jason, back to you.
Bill, thank you. It's a tale of two villages.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Good evening. We're taking a live look at downtown Utica. It's a pretty quiet night. It's been generally cloudy. We've been tracking a few very light showers that are starting to approach from the west. We do see some light rain, especially in and south of the Mohawk Valley overnight. Thankfully, it is not expected to be as heavy compared to what's been happening across downstate New York. In fact, I'm going to step aside and show you where some of the strongest and heaviest rain is taking place tonight. Again, western New York kind of taking a beating here. Still some flash flood warnings in Pennsylvania. And you can see all those red boxes. Those are flash flood warnings. Again, we were lucky. A lot of this ended up going to the south. And heading into tomorrow, our weather does look pretty quiet. We'll dry out and we'll warm up this week. Beautiful sunset this evening from Terry Donito on the farm in Marcy. Beautiful shot there. Today marks the time where Earth is farthest from the sun, 94.5 million miles today. We call this aphelion. When we're closest to the sun in January, we call it perihelion. So why is it the warmest time of the year? It's, of course, all about the tilt of the Earth. The tilt in the northern hemisphere, the Earth is tilted towards the sun, and the sun's rays are more direct, and that's why we have longer days. The sun is higher in the sky. Remember, in the southern hemisphere, it's winter time. Reminder, you can always get weather information on the go by downloading our Storm Tracker 2 weather app. Humidity, dew point in the low 60s. The numbers go up over the next couple of days. It's going to get a lot more humid here for the middle of the week. In terms of rainfall, a few showers overnight could last into early tomorrow. Wednesday looks dry, and then the chance for rain increases heading into Thursday and Friday. This area of low pressure will pass to the south. We'll get a chance to dry out as high pressure builds in from the north. Tonight, a few showers are expected, especially in and south of the Mohawk Valley. Overnight lows will be in the low 60s. Tomorrow, we see a shower early in the day, and then we should dry out. We're expecting some sunshine to break out in the afternoon and evening. Temperatures climb into the mid-70s. Mostly clear tomorrow night. Overnight lows drop into the 60s. Wednesday looks like a beautiful day. Lots of sunshine. Temperatures climb into the mid-80s, so a warm afternoon. Showers are expected tonight, low of 63. Tomorrow, a shower in the morning, and then we'll get a chance to dry out, a high of 76. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. We're in the mid-80s Wednesday and Thursday. Wednesday looks dry, partly sunny. Thursday, the chance of a shower or thunderstorm, 86. Showers and storms look to be widespread Friday, 81. Boilermaker weekend looks nice, partly sunny skies. Temperatures in the low 80s, looking dry both Saturday and Sunday. Showers and storms return Monday. We'll be right back.
Full storm system continued to swamp the Tri-Valley, or Tri-State area, I should say, today. This all comes in the heels of a third straight day of storms, some of which brought hurricane-force gusts. Long Island, Connecticut hit the hardest by that system, but New York City and Jersey, oh yeah, they felt the flooding impact as well. Rain rates reached about to 3 to 4 inches today in some areas, and it may dry out tomorrow. We sure did dodge a bullet here. Let's bring in Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis to talk about this a little bit. They're seeing, it's funny, we talked about this earlier today, how different it can be just a little bit downstate from us. It's only a few hours away.
Yes, same state, completely different weather. I mean, we've been on the fringe of this with clouds and a few sprinkles, but 5 to 6 inches of rain today in spots in downstate New York. This is north of New York City. Flash flooding, all kinds of problems. We did luck out here. This system's going to stay to the south. We do get some light rain with it. We'll be on the northern fringe of it. But again, it's a very different setup here in central New York. This system's going to move east, and we'll get a chance to dry out as we head into tomorrow. Current temperature 70 degrees, cloudy skies, pretty warm out there. The humidity will ramp up as we head throughout the week. I know it's humid today, but you're going to notice it more as we head into the middle of the week. Tomorrow's high 76. We're into the mid-80s Wednesday and Thursday. Low 80s Friday, Saturday. The weather starts to improve as we head into the weekend, but before we get there, we do have some weather to get through. Tonight, we're into the low 60s. A pretty comfortable night. You can open up the windows, maybe give the air conditioner a break. Again, tracking some increase in heat and humidity, along with our next chance of storms late Thursday. Look at the forecast coming up. Jason, back to you.
Bill, thank you. It's Taylor.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Good evening. We are taking a live look in downtown Utica. Pretty nice night tonight. We are tracking some rain showers. This is a live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. The rain has made it as far north as the Mohawk Valley, at least from the radar's vantage point. I wanted to show you the big picture. The really heavy stuff is to the south and west of us, so we're not far away from that, but this is all moving away. This low pressure center is moving from west to east. It's a very slow mover. You can still see some flash flood warnings that remain in effect in parts of Pennsylvania tonight. It was a soaker down there. Again, this is going to move out. Beautiful sunset. This was this evening from Terry Donito and Marcy. The farm looking beautiful tonight, along with the sky. Today marks the furthest point the Earth is from the sun. This is called aphelion. We are 94.5 million miles away from the sun today. We'll start getting closer. We're actually closest to the sun in January. And remember, the reason why we are not colder this time of the year is because it's all about the tilt of the Earth. So in the northern hemisphere, the Earth is tilted towards the sun. We're getting more direct rays from the sun. And so that's why it's a lot warmer in the northern hemisphere this time of the year. We also get the longer days, too. We're just getting out of the summer solstice. But again, the distance between Earth and the sun does change. Reminder, you can always get weather information on the go by downloading our Storm Tracker 2 weather app. The humidity, not too bad at the moment. It's been noticeable. The numbers are going to go up over the next couple of days. It is going to become increasingly more humid, especially Wednesday and Thursday. Those look to be the most humid days of the week. Rain chances are relatively small. Tomorrow, it looks like we'll have a few showers early in the day and then we'll dry out. Wednesday looks dry. Thursday and Friday, a better chance for rain as the next weather system approaches. Low pressure swinging through tonight. We'll get a chance to dry out tomorrow. Again, a few showers overnight. May last into early tomorrow morning, but the weather does improve. Any clouds in the morning should give way to sunshine in the afternoon. Temperatures climb into the upper 70s. And heading into tomorrow night, the weather remains dry. It looks beautiful Wednesday. Lots of sunshine, high pressure taking over. High temperatures climb into the mid-80s. So a very warm Wednesday. Tonight, showers, a low of 63. Showers around early tomorrow, and then we'll get a chance to dry out. High of 76. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. Mid-80s Wednesday, partly sunny. Showers and thunderstorms return late Thursday. Better chance for showers and storms Friday, 81. Boilermaker weekend looks pretty nice. Partly sunny skies. Temperatures in the low 80s Saturday and Sunday. We'll be right back.